Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Friederike. Good morning, Andreas. We're live. So welcome to today's webinars. I'm glad you're part of this webinar. As you can already hear, today's webinar will be in English, since we got a lot of messages and requests to do it in English, to also have more international listeners today. Yeah, I would say the year 2024 is coming to an end. This will be also the last webinar for this year. Today we want to do a short recap about the last month, especially focusing on the IP service world in November, and then also give an outlook for 2025. If you have some questions, always write it in the comments below. We will answer them, and also this webinar will be recorded. So if you don't have time to stay the whole time, you can watch it afterwards on our YouTube channel. But before we jump in the topics, my name is Lucas. I'm the CEO of Pet Office, and today I have two wonderful guests and one special guest also with us. Maybe we start with you, Friederike. Maybe you can give a short introduction about yourself.
Yes, sure. Hello, Lucas. I'm happy to be here again in the webinar. My name is Friederike Stephan. I'm a German and European patent attorney. And some years ago, I got very passionate about IP education. And so I started educating myself about how to educate others. And now I'm offering interactive seminars for companies. Patent education is, especially. And I'm talking to lots of companies about IP awareness in general. And so that's a very exciting topic for me.
Thank you very much, Friederike. And we have a very special guest today with us, and I'm very happy that you're here, Andreas. Maybe you can give also a short introduction about yourself and why you're part of today's webinar.
Hi, Lucas. Thanks for the invitation. Yes, I'm more than 10 years now in the IP area. I'm a patent engineer working for an American-based company called Hillenbrand. I'm their senior IP analyst. And why I'm here, I was attending the IP Service World and would like to share all my impressions with you.
Great, thank you very much. We will jump in that topic in a few minutes, and it's very important also for us to give you who are joining today more also the view from the practical side, from a company perspective. So therefore, Andreas will be sharing his insights and key takeaways. But before we jump into the IP service world, maybe you can give a short recap and what happened on your side, Friederike, over the last months, and how maybe you would also summarize the year 2024 in your case.
Yeah, in my case, there's always this private component and there's the business component. In my case, I moved from mid-Germany to northern Germany, which took quite some time and effort, but that's a private component in 2024 for me. The business component is that I started really talking to lots of companies who got interested in IP awareness and about what I'm doing, how to educate their engineers, how to transfer the knowledge also so that they can apply this in daily life, the engineers, and how to do it in the best way. And that's what I found increasingly, that companies really want to talk about this topic and are interested in it. And I think that's the large recap that I can give for 2024, that there's a trend for an interest in this topic.
Yeah, great. I think the overall topic IP awareness is really a topic which is coming also from our heart, because we want to change something, and this is maybe also the good transition to the IP service world. I think there is a change happening also in the IP industry, so especially from a technology side. So things are changing. Companies also facing challenges right now. I would also say it's a very dynamic and challenging year so far, especially the second part of the year. But we always need to stay positive, have a very positive mindset, and take action regarding the future. But like when it's coming to the IP service world, since you also have this topic on today's agenda, I would say it's always a highlight for myself and like for also Pat Office. And I would say like my 3 key takeaways for the IP service world, we can divide them in 3 categories. I would say the first one, and is like the most important one, to connect with several of the different people at the IP service world. It means like customer from Pat Office customers, but also like new people from like around the world. So this year, I think it was like around 1,000 people attending the IP service world. So this was great, getting different insights. But it's really like sharing ideas, working together on ideas, like getting also inspiration, like how others like solve like the problems. Because at the end of the day, it's very important that we can create values for the companies out there that they can move on. So I think this is one part. So connecting, meeting people, meeting old faces, but also new ones. I think this is like always like my topic number one. And the second topic, coming more like to what's happening. And I was always like stuck at the booth, like since we got a lot of interest, so I couldn't attend all the different sessions. But what we saw is like AI is a big topic. I would say in 2023, AI was already a topic, but in 2024, AI is everyone's talking about AI, everyone's asking about AI. So I would say the bigger question is how can you really like use AI to create a value for the company, and I think that's very important to create a use case. But AI was like the big topic. However, we like also like the different providers are using AI, the different approaches. So I would say this was the big topic for me to see, but also the like new topics coming up. Maybe you can talk a little bit like about that later, like drafting especially. So I got a lot of like interest about like drafting, met like new providers, new startups who are like focusing on patent drafting. So that was quite interesting. And the other or the last category, I would say in my case, was like these a lot of like companies were interested in like insights. How can we really like gather like insights out of like patent information, and also like combine it like with different stakeholders in the organization. So this was like where I had like several discussions. How can we solve it? Because it's also important that like even though a product will be never like finished, but it's very important to work together towards like a state and where you can shape it together. So it's always like important for us to get inspiration from like the customers to understand like their use case. But it's really the topic about insights. Therefore, we also will talk a little bit about the analytics component today. But it was like the insights, what you can do with like this information and knowledge you gather. So a lot of people, and especially bigger, and also this was interesting. It's not, and maybe for everyone who's listening, you have like the startups, the SMEs, and the corporates attending the IP service world. And that's interesting for me to talk to all different kinds of like sizes from that perspective, but all have the same problem or the same question. So, and this is very important to bring it like down to the same level and then create value. But like, so it was about the insight, what we talked a lot about like at our booth. So to summarize it from my perspective, it's like connecting with people. AI is a must-have, and you need to understand how you can use AI in the benefit of the company. And then for us, it was a big topic about this insight component, what you can do with all the data and knowledge you gathered. That's I would say my key takeaways from like the IP service world.
I haven't attended the IP service world this year, but when I saw the program, I already saw that I think every second talk was about AI. So that's exactly what you just said. And what I'm interested in to ask you is, what's the opinion of the people about AI right now? Is it like more excitement, or is it more that people are skeptic about it still? Or what was your feeling about it? What did you get from the people as a feedback?
I think like when you compare it also like to last year's IP Service World, last year it was like more skeptical. It was like quite new like to the industry, and this year like companies are more open, and I think they now understand the use case and like what benefit can bring AI to their company. So efficiency boost, but you really need to understand the use case and where to use AI. AI is not solving all your problems. So it's always also the interaction between like humans and AI at the end of the day. So you need to understand like how and where you use AI. And AI is like, I would say a big buzzword, like still in the industry. So everyone's talking about AI. And I also was reading like the program and AI, I think over 50 times mentioned there. So I think it's a game changer overall from a technology point, and there will be like new advancements coming in the next year. So this is quite interesting as well. But I think you really need to understand the use case, where and how to use AI at the end of the day. That makes sense.
In my opinion, that's the difference between last year and this year, because many of the companies already implemented now AI use cases in their software, and now you really can see the advantages and how it brings you forward.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say like they're also more open, more optimistic that AI can give them a benefit. So it's not a new topic. So, and I think this will change also like you have the early adopters always, and then you have the majority. And I think like also next year, everyone like needs to use AI because like we have some challenges also like, and AI will solve a lot of them. So I think like companies really like now focusing on need to understand where to use AI in several like business aspects. So I think like companies already using AI in like their tools, what you mentioned, Andreas, and also then like they need to understand more like in which other aspects they can use it. So this is getting interesting.
What was your experience, Andreas, from the IP service world from a company's perspective? Because you're a patent manager. So what did you do there? What did you experience?
Yeah, more or less the same like you. I saw lots of those presentation about AI, seeing how it could support us in the future, especially for searches or also for making life for my experts more easy, as they get AI summaries also from documents which are coming, I don't know, aus China, aus Korea, which would have been a problem in the past. And also maybe if they could, see which or if they could compare some of the documents together without using a law firm. That's, I think, one of the big advantages of AI in the moment. And on the other hand, the IP service world gives me the opportunity to talk to my service providers, being all at the same place. And you have time to also have a private talk to them, also private talk to other IP professionals, which could give you insights into their daily business, and then taking or having the takeaways for developing your own department. I think that's the most the reason why I'm attending there.
Yeah. Okay. Lucas, do you want to say something, add something? Otherwise, I would ask you about the analytics that you just mentioned already.
We also got a question in the chat, and I will jump to that question in a minute, and maybe to add like a little bit about a few comments on what Andreas said. It's really like learning from each other. And I think this whole topic about like also cooperation in the industry is very important because we can't solve the bigger problems out there alone. So it's very important like to share like knowledge, even though like they're not direct competitors, but to say, okay, we're doing it in that case. Every company is different, but really like sharing like best practice cases is very important. And this is also the question we always get. So what's the best practice for that case? Because, and then like you can bring it all like to like one level, or like say, okay, this could be a case. In the end of the day, every company needs to decide like for their own, and there is no one right way or best way. So everyone needs to adapt it, but it's really important learning from each other. And I think this is like what you mentioned, Andreas, to say, okay, in like in a coffee break, like you have really like the time to connect to other like IP professionals, and then like discuss like how they solving that topic, and then like learning together, learning from each other is very important, I would say, in life in general, but also like in the industry, to move like everything to the next level. And coming to, maybe we try to answer the question. The question was, it can't be denied that AI is in hype, but a common question in IP about leveraging AI and how different stages of IP can benefit of it. And from what you have witnessed in the IP service world, what do you consider the best use case for the IP lifecycle? Okay, that's I would say a big topic, because the IP lifecycle is like not just only the small use case. I think you need to differentiate, and like what's interesting for me. So what a lot of like companies asked us, and we're not focusing on that part, was also the drafting aspect. So like how can you draft patents like with AI? And I think this will be also getting a bigger topic in the upcoming years. So that you save a lot of time. And I think this is like the leverage, like in the IP industry overall, that you save time. And what you mentioned, Andreas, is like finding patterns, understanding patterns, and then like getting the insights out of that. And I would say the efficiency side is really what AI is changing. I mean, every company is facing demographic challenges, and means like we have less talents in the companies, finding the right talents. There's more work to do, more patent applications coming from like outside Germany. So you have a lot of like workload, and I think AI is helping you like on the efficiency side, so you can save a lot of like time at the end of the day. But it's also the question, how good is the quality? And therefore it's really important that like you also like get the people on board for like these topics. And I think if like they're like aware how AI can help them, and this is also like our topic, how can you bring like the different stakeholders together? Because in your case, and maybe you can share your experience, Andreas, it's like as an IP manager, also or as a patent attorney, you coordinate and like know about the legal topics, but you need always like the knowledge component from the humans. And that's what I mentioned in the beginning. It's like humans and AI is giving like the advantage, and therefore you need to also like get the people on board, and they need to use tools. They need to understand how they can use AI in a safe way, how it's like also like you need to train them also like working with AI, because this is a completely new topic. And like when we went to university, it was not part of my curriculum, and I'm 29, so I was like in university like 7 years ago, but the AI was not a big topic. It was like a smaller one. But now this is like affecting our daily life, and so therefore it's very important also to train like the people in the company how they can use AI in the right way. And I think that's very important, that we not just only see, okay, what technical aspects AI can solve. I think that's the efficiency side, but also how can we like train the people in the companies like using that, like, and in our case IP and AI to understand it. I hope I could. Yeah, we got also like the comment that like save time is like the most important part, and also like understanding, and that we don't have the language barrier. So this is also how we do it. Like in Pet Office, you can like translate every document in any language how you wanna like read it, and also use generative AI like to understand the document also in every language. So you don't have the language barrier, and you don't have like this technical jargon what's in the patent. Because when you have different stakeholders, maybe you can like talk a little bit about that from your practical experience, Andreas, how important this is for companies.
No, this is one of the most important things. I really need this, or I want the support from the AI for my technical experts. There's always, how to say, they are afraid of going deep into the patterns, as they are sometimes not really understanding this language. It's really a special type of language, and AI helps us to make the life easy for them, that they really in a short way can understand. And especially if you have patents with over 100 pages, no one wants to read all of those pages, and after a while you don't understand what they are talking about. And with a summary of, let's say, 250 words or 500 words, it's really more it's more easy and saves a lot of time. And then the willingness to work with patents is growing, and that's the most important thing for me.
Yeah.
And maybe that's like a little bit like what we always talk about, Friederike, and that's maybe very like an important topic in general. How can you like bring people together, so the different stakeholders in the company? And this was like also the key takeaway, and then like the transition to our analytics topic. So they always ask like, how can we bring different stakeholders into our like IP topic? So it's not just only an IP topic. And I always try like to describe it. You can see a patent as like a legal asset, but you can also see it more as a strategic or innovation asset. And what's our topic is therefore the collaboration together you can achieve more is very important. So you have different stakeholders dealing with patents, and I think we covered that in like some webinars and also like in the podcast. But bringing people together, and therefore it's also like our equation is like patent information on the one side, plus the knowledge, and also what Andreas mentioned. So you need the experts, you need the knowledge of those experts in the companies. This is like then getting relevant insights, because at the end of the day, you always need to ask why I'm doing that, because you need to take decisions at the end of the day, and you want to take the right or like good decisions. So, and therefore you need to combine like the different like aspects together. And therefore I think collaboration will be like a bigger topic in the upcoming years. So like what we observe, like creating IP awareness, like IP awareness is also like a bigger topic. And therefore like we also like focus on analytics. We launched it like a few days before the IP Service World, because to give like companies, and like maybe Andreas, you can also share like your thoughts on that, like why this is important, like the insights, like what you've already done with like the data and the knowledge, that you can really say, okay, I have quality insights out of like my data. And I think that's a very important part. How can we combine like those aspects, the information and the knowledge part together, like relevant insights at the end of the day? So like we work like on our side, like really like how can we bring like the different people together? How can we motivate them? How can we like make their life easier, like understanding patents and like doing their job? That like also the IP department is getting more information back, and then like can take better decisions at the end of the day. But maybe Andreas, you want to like give a little bit thoughts or like on that from your perspective?
I think the analytic tool could really support us, or will support us in the future in strategic decisions. We are a company in the last years, we doubled the size by external growth. So we bought a lot of new companies, and in the past, a lot of the decisions were taken were taken by finance and how the production is looking like, the product, but not really by the technology. And now with this analytics tool, we try to focus, or we want to give our input also on a technical side. How innovative is the company? How are they placed in the market? How are they placed in the world, not on in the technology market, and are they good also in let's say they are strong in Europe Europe, but compared to Asia or America, how they're standing there. So I think there are lots of insights we could get and share and provide to our management.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
And like maybe let me add like a few thoughts in that, and like for the outlook for 25, because we had very interesting discussions at the IP service as well on that topic. So we also want to add like additional data sources, so that like also like other departments want to use that kind of like part. So meaning like the strategic department, innovation department. So where's like maybe a white space for us to go, or what does it mean if we want to enter like a new market? So it's really about like the strategic decision making at the end of the day. And like then you have different use case for the different stakeholders in the company. And for example, C-level, they don't have the time and they don't want to work with patents. They just want to have the overview, and then like they need to take the decision at the end of the day. And the better you provide them like with like the insights, and when the insights are coming from like from the internal side, like means like also the thoughts of like all the R&D people, like does it make sense or not? So then it's like a different like kind of like decision you can take. And I think this is very important, like what we want to like focus on, and then also like add like and you mentioned it, Andreas, decisions were taken from like a financial point of view, but also this is like interesting for us as well. How can we add like financial data in that context, that you really understand, okay, you find like maybe new competitors or like a new trend, and then you want to have additional data sources like in that. So that's interesting where it's coming for us, like to go on the inside, intelligence and AI is helping on that side as well. But it needs to make the life easier to take the decision, and the more time we can save, and the better the decision is at the end of the day, the more valuable it will be for the company. And that's always like driving us. How can we create value at the end of the day? And if like that's the case, then like we're on the right track. And like since like this is a very like fruitful discussion, we also got another question. I just read it. In an open door culture with strong collaboration, countless hidden opportunities arise that might otherwise remain undiscovered. Yeah, it's a statement, not a question. I think that's very important, bringing like the people all together, and I think that's what we try like to solve, like creating IP awareness, with also like our webinars, and also like seeing like some practical insights from your case, Andreas. But since like we just have 2 minutes left, and I want to ask you like each one last question. What's your wish, Andreas, for 2025? If you can have like one wish, since we're like close to Christmas, your wish for 2025?
Easy life. So please develop more of AI into Pet Office, that I just can share with my experts.
All right, we will work on that. That's on the roadmap. And then for you, Friederike, what's the outlook for 2025? And maybe if you can also make a wish, like in like different dimension, what would it be?
Yeah, for 2024, I already mentioned that I see a trend in that companies getting aware of that IP awareness is important. And I think that will be also the trend for 2025. If I'm speaking from the IP education perspective, let's say, I think that more and more people, more companies will be interested in that topic, because they will know that this is a very important part in which is going to benefit them in their business and their innovation. And I want to take the bridge to the AI back to the AI, because I think that AI will help for IP awareness, because that's what we already said. If more people understand what they're reading, for example, in patent, then IP awareness will get easier for everyone. And that's what we want to reach. We want to make it easier for the people who need to work with those topics. And I think that's my goal, that's your goal. So yeah, that's what I wish for 2025 also, that this is going to be a trend, and that is going to be improving this topic.
Yeah, and I think if we can achieve it, that like people see like really IP or patents as like really like an exciting topic, I think then we change the whole game, and like people like to work more with like those topics and see it from a different perspective. And if we can achieve that, I think we can then bring like the IP industry also like to the next level. What's at least like also like my vision, like to change something, to move on. And I think it's very important that like we always look into the future and say, okay, let's take action. Let's stay, especially in those times, have a positive mindset. And we have the opportunity to change something. We want to make the life easier, as you, Andreas, mentioned it. And I think if we can achieve that, then like we're all on the right track.
If you want to hear more about how the IP world is changing, then you can listen to the new podcast episode, which is going to be published today in my podcast, where I'm talking with Lukas.
Great last words. And like we already like 1 minute over time, I think we could go on like for another 30 minutes because this is very interesting. If you have some questions afterwards, feel free to reach out to us, like also via LinkedIn or like direct via like email. So thank you very much for your attention. For like your time, especially Friederike and Andreas. And now I wish you all Merry Christmas and a good start into like the new year 2025.
Thank you, Lukas.
Happy holidays. Thank you.